training staff, the divine weapon that always accompanies Whis and all the angels. Something is hidden inside this artifact. Just like the Z sword that a Dai Kaishin possessed, the staff contains something millennial, and I will prove it to you, because Goku, with his usual magic of pulling something out of a hat, almost breaks the staff and something snaps. Want to understand all this? Come with me, subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and activate the notification bell. All the angels in the Dragon Ball Super Universe possess a staff similar to Whis. It is a standard item of their angelic function, as if it were part of their divine kit. Every angel, whether Vados, Margarita, Kuz, or any other, appears with their staff, which has the same shape, a long rod with a floating ring at the tip and a dark sphere in the center. These staffs are not just decorative. They function as multifunctional tools that channel the angels' powers, allowing them to do things like travel between universes, observe events from afar, heal living beings, and even manipulate time, as Whis did when he rewound 3 minutes of the timeline. Curiously, even with all this power, the angels follow strict rules of neutrality and cannot interfere directly in mortal affairs. The staff is powerful, but limited by the cosmic laws governing the angels. Whis' staff is a divine artifact used by him and other angels in the Dragon Ball Super Universe. Officially, it serves as an extension of angelic powers, allowing Whis to perform techniques such as rewinding time by up to 3 minutes, something he used to undo the destruction of Earth caused by Frieza. He also uses the staff to teleport between planets and dimensions, heal injuries, project images of past or distant events, and detect life energy, although it has never been explained who created the staff. Many fans believe it was made by the Grand Priest or some higher force, since all angels possess a similar one. The staff seems to be directly linked to Whis' consciousness and energy, functioning almost as an interface between him and the universe. In some scenes, he interacts with the staff as if it were a tool for communication or observation, suggesting that he can access cosmic information or even manipulate fundamental laws of reality. Among fan theories, some suggest that the staff is a kind of universal database, capable of storing and accessing everything that happens in the universes. Others believe it could contain a part of Xeno's or the Grand Priest's essence, functioning as a key to access higher dimensions. Some also say the staff could be used to control or seal cosmic entities, although this has never been shown officially. Do you have any theories about this item? Comment below, everyone. Despite everything, the staff remains shrouded in mystery. The series has never revealed all its secrets, which further fuels fans' imagination. Let's dive deep into this universe and explore in rich detail the divine artifacts in Dragon Ball, their origins, functions, and mysteries, and how Goku could break or almost break this training staff. Knowing that Goku is very clumsy, as we know, Goku tends to cause chaos with his uncontrolled energy and carefree personality. He has a curious history of interactions with sacred items and places, and even without intention, he ends up breaking or messing up things involving deities and cosmic entities. One of the most emblematic cases is the Z sword, a legendary relic guarded by the Kaishins. It was considered a divine weapon, capable of cutting anything, until Goku and Gohan, during training, decided to test it against a block of Katchin, the strongest material in the universe. Result, the sword broke as if it were glass, and Goku, of course, found it all very fun, as if he had broken an old toy. Another remarkable moment is when Goku goes to train on King Kai's planet. The place is small, with increased gravity and full of rules, but Goku, being Goku, turns the planet into a battlefield. He destroys King Kai's car, breaks the house, uproots trees, and even cracks the ground. And that's not counting the fact that later he literally explodes the planet by bringing Cell there during the self-destruction. A sacred planet, home to a god, obliterated in seconds. There's also the episode where he trains with the Kaishins in the sacred world, where everything is treated with reverence. Goku, with his curiosity and absurd strength, ends up messing up the environment, breaking structures, and treating the place as if it were his backyard. Even the gods are left speechless at his lack of ceremony. And we can't forget Whis' own staff, which, although never broken, is constantly used improperly by Goku. He has tried touching it, pulling it, moving it, and even asking to use it as transportation without understanding that it is an angelic artifact, a direct channel to Xeno and other cosmic entities. It's as if he were asking for a ride in an intergalactic patrol car. Goku has this gift of treating the sacred with naturalness, not out of disrespect, but because he sees everything as part of his path of evolution. He does not fear the gods, does not idolize divine objects. He interacts with everything as if it were equal, and perhaps that is what makes him so special. He breaks rules, breaks relics, breaks planets, but never breaks his essence. Whis' staff is not just a magical rod as we know, it is a divine tool that channels multiple cosmic abilities, greater than any divine item Goku has ever interacted with. We are talking about time manipulation, interdimensional teleportation, resurrection, projection of universal events, among others. So if it were broken, the impacts could be very serious, such as temporary loss of abilities. Whis might not be able to use certain powers with precision, like rewinding time or communicating with Xeno. This does not mean he would be powerless. The angels have their own power, but the staff facilitates and amplifies these actions. Cosmic imbalance. Since angels are responsible for maintaining the balance between the gods of destruction and the universe, losing such an essential artifact could generate instability. Imagine Beerus, without supervision, guaranteed chaos. Intervention from the Grand Priest. If a staff were broken, it would likely draw the attention of Whis' father, the most powerful being in the multiverse. He could intervene, restore the staff, or even reprimand Whis or Goku. Possible divine punishment. Angels follow strict rules. If the staff were broken due to recklessness or improper interference, it could be considered a violation of cosmic laws. This has already happened with Beerus, who was erased for interfering too much. In the end, the staff seems indestructible by conventional means, precisely because it is an angelic artifact. But if Goku, with his absurd strength and clumsy way, managed to break it or almost break it, it would be an event worthy of an entire new arc in Dragon Ball Super. Since the dawn of the Dragon Ball universe, the divine hierarchy has always been marked by a stratification of power and function. At the top are the angels, neutral and almost omniscient beings, followed by the gods of destruction, Kaioshins, and other cosmic entities. But what few realize is that, beyond the characters themselves, there is deep symbolism in the objects they carry. Artifacts that are not just tools, but extensions of their essence, limits, and histories. All angels possess a similar staff, which indicates that it is not exclusive to Whis, but rather a standard of the angelic race. However, what makes it special is not just what it does, but what it represents. A bridge between absolute power and absolute neutrality. Angels do not directly interfere in events, but they observe, guide, and when necessary, correct the course of time, like Whis did when he rewound 3 minutes to save Earth. But what about the other gods? The Kaioshins, for example, are deities of creation, responsible for maintaining the balance of the universe. Although they do not possess staffs like the angels, they have access to equally enigmatic artifacts. One of the most iconic is the Z-Sword, a legendary weapon embedded on the sacred planet of the Kaioshins, which remained untouched for millennia. The legend said that whoever could wield it would receive immense power. Gohan, even as a mortal, managed to pull it out after transforming into a Super Saiyan, surprising the gods themselves. But what few knew was that inside the sword was sealed the old Kaioshin, imprisoned by Beerus during a meeting of gods as punishment for a trivial argument. This detail completely changes the perception of the Z-Sword. It was not just a powerful weapon, it was a magical prison. And this raises an intriguing question. If a Kaioshin can be sealed in a sword, what prevents other beings from being sealed in other artifacts? And even more, what might be sealed inside an angel's staff? Magic does not come from nowhere. In Dragon Ball, although the focus is on ki and physical power, there are moments when magic manifests subtly, almost symbolically. Seals, for example, are an ancient form of magic that appears in various cultures. And there are theories suggesting that Whis' staff may contain a hidden seal, perhaps linked to the Grand Priest or even Xeno. After all, the staff allows Whis to observe everything, travel between dimensions, and even manipulate time. This is not just divine technology, it is coded magic. Some fans speculate that the staff may contain a kind of reality core, an entity or force that allows angels to maintain cosmic balance. There are even those who say the staff could be used to seal a being like Moro, who manipulates pure magic, or even a corrupted god. The idea that the staff is more than a tool is reinforced by the fact that we have never seen an angel without it, as if it were part of their very existence. Returning to the Z-Sword, its narrative role is fascinating. It begins as a promise of power, reveals itself as a prison, and ends as a catalyst for transformation. When Gohan breaks it trying to cut a block of Kachin, the hardest material in the universe, the old Kaioshin is freed and performs the ritual that unlocks Gohan's hidden potential. In other words, the sword fulfilled its prophecy, but not in the expected way. This is typical of Dragon Ball, subverting expectations and showing that true power often comes from wisdom, not brute strength. In future Trunks' timeline, the Z sword also appears, but with a tragic fate. Trunks trains with it, becomes stronger, but during the fight against Dabura, the demon's saliva turns the sword to stone, breaking it and permanently losing the old Kaioshin's power in that timeline. This shows that divine artifacts are fragile in the face of impure magical forces, and that the balance between magic and physical power is delicate. If we consider that the Z sword was used as a prison, and that Whis' staff has similar properties of containment and observation, it is plausible to imagine that it might also contain something or someone, perhaps a fragment of cosmic consciousness, a sealed entity, or even a key to access higher dimensions. After all, angels are the only ones who can move freely between universes, and the staff is the means by which this happens. This theory connects with ancient concepts of magic, such as sigils, symbols used to seal or invoke entities. In Western tradition, sigils were used to control demons or angels, and many grimoires describe how to create seals to imprison supernatural forces. Applying this logic to the staff, it could contain a hidden sigil, invisible to mortal eyes, but active on the divine plane. This would explain why the staff is so versatile and why angels never let it go. In short, divine artifacts in Dragon Ball are more than tools. They are silent narrators of cosmic stories. The Z sword tells the saga of an imprisoned god and a mortal who transcends his limits. Whis' staff, in turn, is a mystery in motion, a piece that may contain the secrets of the multiverse. And the other gods, although weaker than the angels, also possess items that reflect their functions and limitations. The Patera earrings, for example, allow divine fusions, but only work under certain conditions. The time orbs, used by Krinoa, the Kaioshin of time, are another example of a magical artifact with the power to manipulate reality. Ultimately, what Dragon Ball shows us is that power is not just in fists or ki blasts, it is in symbols, stories, and objects that carry the memory of the gods. And perhaps, just perhaps, Whis' staff is the key to a new saga, where the mystery of magic is finally fully revealed.